Mes amis Team Blazy-TV, moi, il y a plusieurs gros dossiers chauds. Capsule que communauté haïtienne dans les États-Unis, un pasteur haïtien tombé en bas gros accusation à sous Timoun. Et bon l'autre haïtien encore qui joue un gros problème avec la loi après yo accusé le frapper un monsieur avec pistolet en dans yon home depot. Et bien Team Blazy-TV, moi, dans même vidéo ça nous gen gros question en pile mon a posé sous système l'hôpital yo. Façon quelques patients senti yo maltraité, négligé qui ou vinn pi mal après ou fin boire un médicament. Mais Team Blazy-TV, on commence avec dossier haïtien avant, après ça pour nous tomber dans l'autre dossier. Et les dossiers, c'est nos pas haïtien ça qui a 62 ans sous Zobatet qui vivent dans le pays Etazini, dans la cour Miami, Florida. Pastè arrive jeune arrestation pour d'appuyant li kon ple de fait sur un petit monde 5 ans. Victime Pastè a te fait d'appuyant sou li a. Dans moment n'a parlé là, il a 33 ans, il te décidé porter plainte pour Pastè comme abusé. Côté Pastè a te abusé sexuellement à l'âge de 5 ans. Et ça te continue pendant plusieurs années. Team Blazy-TV moi côté Pastè a tapé des vidéos tout le pinzolé. Et selon enquête là, en 3e ak 7e année l'école, Pastè a te kon exposé ko li devant ti moun nan et puis forcer le faire Zach flambé, certifié à souci tout le pin ni bien souci et puis flambé encore. Team Blazy-TV moi au dossier ça li bouleverser en pile monde parce que monsieur c'est un pasteur religieux qui t'a servi dans Unity Haitian Baptist qui kounya en bas gros accusation côté ou fait mel dans prison et puis ou pas même bali caution tellement bagala exagéré. Et détective yo fait connait que yo pense capable gain plus victime toujours qui pour ouvrir parler parce que yo capable de parler et détective yo même ba yon numéro pour si ta gen l'autre victime pour yo relé pour yo rapporter que mais c'est convidé tout le pinzo yo. Et Team Blazy-TV moi pendant communauté a poko même fin saisi ak dossier passé ça gon l'autre haïtien encore qui joine tête li nan gros problème avec la loi dans Florida monsieur le Daniel Edouard li gen 45 ans sous zoba tête li la vivre dans pays États-Unis dans la cour West Palm Beach Florida monsieur est arrivé jeune arrestation nan mais la police après un gros incident qui rive en dans yon room depot. D'après rapport la police, discussion te commencé dans le self check out là et puis bagay yo t'a pas vinn chaud tant pour diffé. Témoin yo qui était dans room depot yo rapporté avec la police que ça te fait Daniel fâché côté il t'a parlé mal et puis victime nan mandel quitter magasin. Sortant de Daniel rale un pistolet et puis frappé victime dans tête avec un zam. D'après déclaration Daniel lui-même, il te bail la police, il fait connaître qu'il était seulement des victimes qui étaient une dame passée devant dans l'île et puis victime nan répondit d'ici America. Victime nan entré en bas bouche li, la manqué le dégât. Ayisyen dit la police qui, li te demande monsieur pour le faire back, pour pas approcher sur lui, sinon ça le joindre c'est pas. Victime nan lui même ni pas attendre le pas li proche en bas bouche, li te obligé frapper la pistolet. Mais Team Blazy-TV moi malchance pour haïtien, caméra sécurité magasin, te filmé toute bagaille ça yo t'arrive joindre haïtien coupable et bagaille là tellement grave, yo mette maintenant pas de cassable. Daniel fait maintenant prison dans Saint-Lucie Canigel et puis j'ai jamais été caution li à $100,000. Est-ce que vous entendez? Et quand l'Amérique qui compte fin font crime tout y on moun dans États-Unis, yo pas même rivé caution à $100,000. Bon, tous les cas, haïtien qui bagay pour reporter dans États-Unis, yo gen chay pour reporter non. Et Team Blazy-TV moi pendant un pile monde déjà gen inquiétude sous façon système n'a déjà fonctionné. Un pile l'autre monde commence à poser question sous façon quelques l'hôpital à quelques professionnels santé contre traiter patient. Capable dire nous Team Blazy-TV moi au dernier jour ça un pile monde sur réseaux sociaux doit partager expérience personnelle sous façon yo senti système médical là parfois fret sans compassion ou bien pas toujours prendre les patients au sérieux. Et il y a même monde qui fait connaître que yo consenti quelques docteurs parler à patient tant que yo c'est un chay quelques infirmiers tout consenti émotion tant que c'est zombie qui parler avec yo et un pile monde a parlé avec vieille énergie qui dégageant dans l'hôpital yo même femme noire qui fait connaître que yo subi préjugé ou soit yo senti douleur yo minimiser gain tout qui fait connaître que yo kon vinn pi mal après yo fin bon médicament. Mais Team Blazy-TV moi question pas seulement question médicament, question c'est question l'humanité parce que les monde malade li déjà paix. Il est déjà fragile, besoin pour autant il besoin de respect. Oui, c'est vrai, il y a un pile docteur qui est infirmier extraordinaire qui sauve la vie chaque monde, mais il y a l'autre expérience qui fait un pile monde per système là parce que pour eux même les à l'hôpital ils viennent plus mal. Il y a même monde qui senti système là trop centré sur l'argent, assurance, à production au lieu d'émotion, à compassion monde. Et c'est un gros débat qui l'ouvre sur les réseaux sociaux dans moment n'a parlé la Team Blazy-TV moi. Quand un pile monde a demandé est-ce que le système santé a toujours songé patient c'est mon avant tout avant l'argent. Mais Team Blazy-TV moi on regarde quelques vidéos nous même n'ava pas opinion pas nous n'a dit ça nous penser.
Stay out of the hospitals. Stay out of the doctor's offices. learn how to heal your body naturally. You know, the same people who created the hospitals, the medical system, are the same people who enslaved your ancestors. The same people who created systematic racism so that you couldn't own your home and so that you could be poor. The same people. But because they put on a white jacket, you trust them? You trusting them with your life because they got on a white jacket and they tell you they got a medical degree. A degree from who? Oh, the same people who created the education system. Oh. Black people, I'm trying to tell you. My sister was murdered in the hospital by the staff. They decided her life was no longer valuable, and they took her off her breathing after they pronounced her brain dead. Stay out of them hospitals. Learn how to care for yourself. It ain't hard. God gave us everything we need, and it ain't in no damn prescription. Okay?
So let's talk about the ignorance of doctors. And in my 12 years, I've met a lot, but yesterday was icing on the cake. Wasn't for Lyme. I seen a gastroenterologist, gastro doctor, because 3 years ago from a scope, I was diagnosed with H. pylori. It is a gut bacteria that, if you're not careful, you can get ulcers and you can even get cancer. And it's the type of cancer that's silent, and by the time you find out, it's usually like a stage 4. I don't have cancer. So I had my appointment because it has been 2 years since I did the triple antibiotic treatment for it. And all my symptoms have been back. And they have been back since before Christmas. Like, I will eat something and I will bloat like I am 9 months pregnant. I have such horrible upper stomach pain where it is so bad, I will literally rock myself to sleep. The acid reflux is back. The nausea is back. The constipation is back. TMI, it's really bad, even with all of the vitamin C, magnesium I take. So I wanted an appointment with him. And because I haven't seen him, I had to wait for the appointment because they had to schedule me as a new patient, because that's how we do it in Canada. And I can't make the appointment. My doctor had to make the appointment. So he sent the referral in March, and I had my appointment yesterday, July 16th. So I got on the phone with him, I explained all my symptoms, and he said, okay. And I said, what? I said, well, I worried it's H. pylori, it could be something more serious. And he flat out told me, and he was so confident, 100% it's H. pylori, it's nothing more serious. And I said, well, we have stomach cancer in my family. My aunt has stomach cancer. And he said, nope, it's H. pylori. I said, well, what do we do? And he said, well, you're probably one of the 30% that is chronic. Do you know what chronic is? And I was like, yes, I know what chronic is. He goes, so you're just going to have to learn to deal with it. I said, do you understand? I've lost almost 35 pounds since Christmas, because I don't eat. And he said, yeah. I was so stunned by the ignorance of this man. So I just let him talk, and he gave me 3 options. Here in Canada, our testing is covered, so I did the breath test. But he told me that the hospital is backlogged for that, so I can pay to do the stool testing. And I've heard, correct me if I'm wrong if you're watching this, it's not as accurate as the breath test. So I said, well, I prefer to not pay and do the breath test. Of course you would. I was like, what the fuck? Then I asked him about a scope. And I said, well, do you think maybe a scope would be better just to make sure there's nothing else going on? I get paid to do scopes, and if I thought you needed one, I would give you one. I was so dumbfounded. This man was ignorant before when I talked to him, but his ignorance was on a whole other level. I just want to scream. I ended up just saying thank you. Apparently the breath test can take anywhere from 2 to 3 months, but if I don't hear from him within 4 to 5 months, then to give his office a call and he'll do the scope. I'm like, that math doesn't math, but okay, I'm to wait 2 to 3 months for the wait, but if it doesn't happen, I'm supposed to call you in 4 to 5? I got off the phone. Jeff just was like, what the hell was that? Needless to say, I'm going back to my family doctor, who's amazing, on Monday. But I just want to know, for the doctors out there, do you take and how to be an asshole class in medical school? Like, do you forget that you're talking to humans who are scared, who have something going on? Like, I don't get how someone can talk to another human like that. Like, it was utterly disgusting how he was talking to me. He talked to me like I was a pain in the ass. So, needless to say, Jeff said, nope, we're going for a second opinion. I'm not waiting around for this. I'm not saying it's anything more serious, but if you talk to people who, have had stomach cancers and have ulcers, this is how it starts with H. pylori. And this has been going on for 3 years. So, I don't know. Do we forget how to be humans in this world?
I think there's a demonic presence within hospitals because it's a portal between life and death. Literal babies are born there and people take their last breath there. And I feel like the entities that are recruited to work there in some nature are either angelic, so the industry capitalizes off that healing energy, or they're demonic. So most of the deaths that happen or the negligence that happens within these hospitals, it goes undetected and unreported because of the fact that there's a balance between angelic and demonic energies. And I feel like there's less angels than there are demons in hospitals. And here's why I say that. There's a lot of good nurses that come on here and they're very transparent, but how many times have we heard horrible stories about RNs as a whole, just being evil? Wicked. How many times have we seen videos? I mean, I've seen a video of a nurse being a beautiful, gorgeous nurse being upset with other nurses for laughing and having a good time. And she recorded her response. And I recently just did a Selena psychic reading. And as a lot of you know, Yolanda was a nurse. And I feel like the darkest, most jealous, hateful women hide within healthcare. And as a psychology major and as someone that is going to school, pursuing and actively doing therapy, it's just, from my own experience, I know that there's people in those places that abuse their power. And I know and have experienced within my own life that irrational, arrogant, jealous, vain spirit of hatred within the people that work in these establishments. And the reason why I drew on Yolanda Salvador's energy is because I want you guys to recognize that a lot of these women are around death and they're around life. They literally are controlling people's lives. They could easily add something to someone's saline bag or mix some medications up, change a chart. They can easily be put in situations where they make people experience unnecessary harm and physical pain before they even see a doctor, because they have that much power over people's lives. So if 2 Black women, including me and other Black women that I've heard personal stories from here in Texas, are experiencing that, how many other women across the world are experiencing this amount of racism? How many? And I like to touch on Yolanda because Yolanda acted like the most sweetest, kindest person. And I'm sure that's why she got into nursing, because she felt like she could blend in like a chameleon. And when she got close to Selena, she used the same empathetic tactics and all these different psychological, ways of manipulating her way into Selena's life in order to get close to her and not only harvest her energy, but sacrifice her energy so that she could therefore try to destiny swap and get the limelight and get the attention from her death. Because at the end of the day, it wasn't only just jealousy. She wanted the attention that young girl had. So just imagine the amount of nurses that are doing heinous shit behind closed doors to these innocent women out of spite, out of jealousy, out of racism, or just not liking that person and the person's tone or how they look. Just imagine, and you have control over these person's life. Like, you, just one mishap on your end and that person's gone. You know? Or I see the videos of y'all running when the alarm's on. What about if there's a situation where y'all are not even trying to get to that person? Like, y'all didn't try to get to those two women that were having literal contractions in front of you and you did not do nothing to help her. No sign of empathy within their faces. And as a trained professional, it just disgusts me, because it's like, I'm studying psychology. I'm so in to try to understand and help people. So the fact that they wouldn't even take the time to even care for those women or even empathize as a woman, that's scary. And I know that mean girls choose positions like this because not only does it come with the validation, but it comes with the territory. You're in the stomping grounds of the demon's lair, because hospitals are very corrupt. They steal a lot of money from the insurance companies as well as the people that have their insurance, and they have heinous, crazy practices. And a lot of the medical industry is rooted in capitalism because all they want to do is continue to generate money. So if you stay sick, they benefit off of that. But if you're a celebrity, God forbid you're a celebrity that talks about holistic healing like Left Eye, and you just mysteriously come up gone, God forbid, you're Dr. Sebi and you're proving that you can miraculously heal people with herbs like soursop or alkalized foods, and you have to literally fight with the GOV in court over this. Imagine the medical industry wanting to stop you from healing people and helping them. Isn't that the same thing that they did to Yeshua? Y'all call it, Christians call him Jesus. If that's what you want to refer to him as, do so. But that's what they did to Yeshua when he was proving that he could heal people. So imagine what they do to actual informed, knowledgeable nurses that want to go in there and help people. Imagine how these young women and young men are pushed out of there. Because if me as a trained professional, I've experienced it, I've been around it, I know, and I've also seen with my own eyes and experienced the amount of prejudice that these institutions have when it comes to not only hiring, because there is a time where I was trying to get a job in a hospital, could never get it, even with my degrees, could never get it. And it's simply because of the fact that I don't think they want people that have humanity in these spaces. If you have degrees, you're even more of a triple threat because you play with their money. You could easily take their job. They don't want you playing in their money. They don't want you organizing people and helping people find solutions to problems because they benefit from problems. Just like a salesman would tell you, we create problems to find solutions for them. That's the same way the system works. So if they won't even allow people to create natural remedies to heal your body without trying to basically do unjust shit to them, even going through the extremes to unaliven them, right? And they have nurses like Yolanda that are literally the most sociopathic, crazy, insane, delusional people suffering from psychosis. If they have these people in these institutions, running these institutions and jeopardizing people's lives just because of not liking someone because of their race or their age or how they look, whatever, then why are we still funneling money into these places? Not only that, why will we even trust people like this with our lives? There's a reason why they targeted women-dominated jobs, and there's a reason why they keep crooked, evil men and women in these positions, and they keep them as the gatekeepers to keep good people that want to make a change out. There's a reason for all of this, guys. It's created to cause not only a strain for us, because there's so many Black women and other people losing their jobs around America. It's also to keep us low vibing, not connected, not being able to create financial stability and emotional and spiritual stability. Knocks all three components out, mind, body, and soul, in shock because of what they're doing.
Mes amis, Team Blazy-TV, moi, ça nous journée jodi a yon passe haïtien ba gros accusation parce qu'il t'a plaidé flamber les anjou dans l'église. Et vous l'autre haïtien même qui gen gros problème avec la loi. Ou question qu'a posé sur les réseaux sociaux, sur le système médical là, avec façon quelques patients sentis au traité. C'est en tous les cas tête chargée bagay plus sous plus problème continue à monter à sens. C'était important pour me deviner partager vidéo ça ensemble avec nous. On a continué mais c'est toute belle Team Blazy-TV qui toujours là pour supporter travail ça, qui toujours là pour bailler love you, qui toujours là pour partager vidéo à chaque fois moi poster Team Blazy-TV moi puis quoi pour nous moi mais nous en pile et nous même tout qui prend la peine tomber sur plateforme ça qui c'est Blazy-TV. N'a pas invité venir joindre belle team ça qui c'est belle Team Blazy-TV parce que nous parler de tout ça qui actualité. Abonnez à la page, à la page, abonnez-vous toujours au courant de tout ça qui passe. Team Blazy-TV, moi, au bisou pour nous. Qu'est-ce que c'est?